These UFO encounters that are popping up around the globe are starting to freak the world out. Starting in Fresland, right, in Norway. This was captured at an airport in which, you know, UFOs were literally sighted over the airport. Now, this isn't the first time that we've seen this recently. We obviously saw it at Manchester Airport over in the UK earlier this week, which, you know, did freak people out then. But this footage, let's have a look. Obviously, there's a lot to soak in there. All right, there's a hell of a lot to soak in. First of all, we've obviously got the footage of these like inanimate objects right here. Now, there's a lot that could be said for these inanimate objects right here, but you know, I don't know. They're obviously not moving, and that one right there. But what is weird is this little light here that seems to be glowing, but also the red streaks of light that are just shooting through the sky. Now, this obviously starts to move from a standstill. Now, obviously, there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm going to analyse the footage of the ones that are shooting across the sky. They are moving at a phenomenal speed. Whatever they are shooting across the sky at a phenomenal pace. That one right there, you know, there's a good possibility that the one that was moving right there, that could be something, right? But the fact that it goes from like still to suddenly then moving at quite a substantial pace says a lot. So obviously there's a lot to soak in. You've got the ones that still, you've got the ones that are shooting across the sky, and then you've got the one from still to moving. Whatever this is, it's weird. And the fact that it's happening over an airport is even weirder. And it's something that should be taken into consideration, especially considering, you know, what we've just seen at Manchester Airport and the confusion that went on around that. I've tried to do some research on this to see if it shut down the airport. It doesn't look as if it did, but people are baffled by this, and it's leaving a lot of people concerned. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below about that one. We're going to move in to the next clip. So the next clip is this one right here, which was captured on the 2nd of December, and these orbs were captured in Tennessee. Take a look at this. Let me know what you think.
Weird lights. They stop, they go up, they go down. The one on the left has just stopped. Huh.
Initially, I thought that these were all, like, when I first saw it, I thought, maybe they're, like, the same, like, all lights from the same craft, right? So, even then, I wouldn't have been able to explain it. But I thought, you know, there's a possibility that these are all just from the same object. But then I looked again, and when I was looking through it, I noticed that obviously the lights started to move in different directions. And you notice they start off quite close here, and obviously this one's like way ahead. But then these start to break off into different directions. This one speeds up, and you notice that they kind of change direction quite frequently. Now, they can't be helicopters, because helicopters would... if they were helicopters, they wouldn't be flying this close together. It just wouldn't be safe to. Also, the conditions aren't the best. We can see obviously it's snowing as well, so that obviously, you know, really does mix things up a little bit and make it difficult for flights and helicopters and drones especially. So I think that it's safe to rule those possibilities out of it being something of this planet. In my opinion, I can't explain what they are. Obviously, there's no defining features, but just the way that they move, the way that they change direction, the way that they kind of separate and come together and just move about. I don't think that this is anything of this world. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this as well, of course, down in the comments below. Maybe you've got a more logical explanation. If you do, please drop it in the comments, and I'll be keeping an eye out. But until that, we're going to be looking at this next one, which was from Florence, South Carolina. And these are some, again, weird little orb sightings that were captured over in that direction.
Oh, the fuck? Dude. He's just over there, across the street. He's moved right on top of me.
Now, this is a really difficult one. And the reason that this one's really difficult is because there's not much to it. It's just a light in the sky. At night especially, on what seems to be a clear night. It's definitely not a star, but I don't think it's a UFO either. There's a good possibility that this could just be a Starlink, right? Or a satellite of some kind, because they do genuinely look that bright at night. It could be Jupiter, right? Because you can oftentimes see Jupiter like as a really bright light in the sky at night, depending on where you are. And there's also a good possibility, I don't think it's a plane, I don't think it's a drone, I don't think it's a helicopter. I think that this is something outside of our atmosphere. Like, I genuinely think that this could just be some kind of Starlink or some kind of satellite of some capacity. That's my genuine and honest opinion on that. I don't think this is an extraterrestrial in any capacity at all. But this is another one of the same Florence, South Carolina incident, and this was kind of taken apparently between 12:15 and 1:30 a.m. and it's been labeled as a shapeshifter. So, you know, the context of the story is they were putting up some Christmas lights late tonight and happened to look up with everything going on lately. I have seen the orb-type craft that likes to form a little triangle formation pretty often. At least I think. That's what I saw at Litchfield Beach, South Carolina around 10 years ago. And that's the only thing I've seen in my life. Also back then, it was maybe only 3 or 1 if they're somehow a singular craft. Tonight, I have to have seen some 100 total lights and just flickering all throughout the distance. And more seemed to show up as I began to video. Then I noticed the V-shaped craft, or so I called it. Right, there's a little bit more context if you want to take a look there, but this may provide a little bit more context to the video that we've just seen. Just crank the brightness up on this.
Bro, what is that? That shit had a whole ass halo just coming off of it, bro. Dog, how is this shit not catching? And then here we go. Military helicopter or something of the sort. Literally flying right to where we were just at. I think our military went down there. I think buddy over here is still straight up. Yep, here he is. What, dude?
Again, I stand by my opinion that this could possibly just be Starlinks. Obviously, you know, many people are going to have many different opinions. When you add in the context of this guy talking about a military craft, I can't verify that it actually was. If it was, then maybe that's a bit more suspicious, but I'm going to stand my opinion for now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. For the last clip that we've got, it was multiple UAP filmed over the UK. So you can see we are literally going across the globe here. We had Norway, we've got the UK, and we've had the US. It's weird that these things are just popping up all over the globe. put on some audio for you. It's hard to know exactly what we're looking at here, you know. It's one of those clips where it's like, could it, can't it? You know, there's a lot of things. People might say flares. People might say, you know, well, I don't know, actually. Looking at it again now, obviously we've just watched one fade out, so that could possibly indicate flares. But then the rest of them don't. They all seem to be moving together as well, which obviously adds to the weird factor of this. And they do move in directions. They seem to separate as the video goes on. You can see the two at the back, you know, kind of tail off. You see these ones kind of disband a little bit. They're not as tight-knit as they were at the very beginning. So, you know, I guess the jury's out about that one as well. In my opinion, I'm struggling to be able to define it as anything logical, like flares. I mean, obviously, we do watch one kind of burn out, so or fade out at least. So it begs the question. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new. And until next time, I will speak to you later. Peace.